lights out, away we go for race number 999.
Oh, yeah.
Is it actually?
No, it is. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Forgot about that. They're in the countdown. What a weird spot to end it, though. Like, it's not like a well-known circuit. I know, like, you can't control that.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, 1,000 in China.
Yeah. That's the next race, though.
In 2 weeks?
2 weeks' time, yeah. But this is the preview for race number 2 of the 2019 Formula One World Championship in Bahrain. Welcome to the Backmarkers F1 show. We are on episode number 39, and the whole gang is here. Chris Cato, Tyler McDonald, and Shaker Barty are all here.
I returned from the dead.
Yeah. You finally got some time off, and
I mean, I worked today, but
yeah.
you know, we got the evening off, so
Yeah.
we're good to go.
There you go. So we're going to be previewing this race coming up this Sunday in Bahrain. So we'll just kind of run you through the circuit info, everything that you need to know going into this race. It's been pretty quiet for the most part after Australia, obviously. Even though it's 2 weeks, it just feels like it's been still a long time since the last race.
I also didn't get my opinion on Australia.
Right. Well, yeah.
Which we can just lead into Bahrain with the things I've noticed.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes. So what did you think of?
I can sum it by one word with every team if we want to do that.
Okay.
Sure. Mercedes, beautiful.
Great drive.
Bottas is the one word I'll use. Unbelievable job by Valtteri, I thought. And if he can carry that momentum into Bahrain and just keep rolling with it, whew, might be dangerous.
I mean, he used 2 words to describe it to his haters, so.
That's true. That's true.
You heard that part, right?
I did hear that part. Yeah. No, yeah. That was pretty funny. That's gonna be like right away. That's in one of the top radio moments of the year.
Oh, 100%.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. To whom it may concern. Good job there. Well done. Lewis, I mean, he raced well as well, but obviously
he did what he could.
Valtteri was just on another level. I don't know how you can be 40 seconds ahead of your teammate. That's unheard of. So yeah, that boggled my mind for Australia, and I'm interested to see how Lewis will respond in Bahrain. Yeah, back to Ferrari. Anyways, disappointing is what I thought, but we're gonna mention how we think they fixed their issue for Bahrain. Supposedly, but we don't know what that issue is. Red Bull, like a hot and cold. I don't know, Verstappen raced unbelievable, but Pierre Gasly was horrid. You can't even pass a Toro Rosso and you're in a Red Bull. I mean,
I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that.
Piss poor by Pierre Gasly. Renault, bland. I expected a lot more of Renault in Australia, so hopefully they can kind of have a better package for Bahrain. Alpha, I thought, was very good. Yeah, Kimi Räikkönen looked like Kimi Räikkönen once again. Not that he ever lost that. Racing Point, good strategies by Racing Point to get Lance into the points position. McLaren, I don't really remember what they did. Lando Norris actually raced well, I think.
Yeah, Carlos Sainz
DNF'd.
Oh, that's right.
I think it was an MGUK failure.
That's right. Oh yeah, his car was on fire.
Yeah.
It looked. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, not good. Who else? I'm missing 3 teams. Haas. That's hilarious that they ran an air gun failure again.
I know, right?
2 years in a row, same race.
Jeez, figure it out. But good on Magnussen. He looked very good. And I think the Haas car looked unbelievable. That thing was on rails. So we'll see if that again. They might have an advantage too because they're usually a fast car in a straight line, and Bahrain has a lot of big straights too.
Yeah.
So they could have a very good Bahrain Grand Prix. Going through the teams, Williams, I mean, do I have to even talk about them? They're 5 seconds slower than last year's qualifying time.
Yeah.
Which is sad. What team am I missing?
I think you covered them all.
Toro Rosso. I think I said Toro Rosso, but Kvyat was unbelievable defending.
Yeah, that's what me and Shaker were saying.
I'm honestly very surprised.
I'm going to look at our beautiful posters back here and see if I'm missing anyone. Oh, no, I was going to say Sauber. I didn't talk about them. They're non-existent anymore.
No, they're not there.
Nope. Yeah, you got
everyone.
Yeah.
You got everybody.
No,
someone's going to go comment down below. You forgot this team. Sorry.
No, we got them all.
I think you're good.
I got them all.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good summary. I mean,
I know it's not like a legit breakdown summary, but
did you mention Williams?
Yeah, I said, what's
Did
the
he
point in
need to?
talking about them?
I was just hoping you were going to shit on them a little bit more.
Oh, you want me to shit on them more?
No, it's okay.
I mean,
I did
hope
that
Williams
enough
bring it
last week.
back.
Yeah, they've identified a fundamental problem with their car.
Right.
I don't know what that fundamental problem is.
The
but
car.
The car. Everything.
You need a new car.
Yeah. It seems like maybe along the way this season at Williams, some sort of management change will need to happen.
Yeah.
Because they need to really decide on the future of that team.
At least in the development part. I mean, I'm sure they're working hard, and obviously they didn't have the greatest scenarios unfold for them in preseason, but like it's not even close to the next car ahead of them.
Yeah. No, that's exactly the point, right? Is
Yeah.
that they've been slower they've been
were
slower
slower
this
last
season
year.
than last year. Yeah.
And like that's hard to do.
Yeah, and it's hard for a guy like Kubica, who a lot of people were already criticizing him for, just being back in the sport, and now it's like, well, what is he going to do with a car that's that bad?
Yeah.
So we'll see how things unfold at Williams, but yeah, I think there'll be banter this season for sure.
There will be. And I mean, poor George Russell as well, going to F1 and having to kind of deal with that. I mean, he's basically in an F2 car.
Yeah, essentially.
So,
yeah. Well, moving on to Bahrain, and you mentioned this earlier about the straights. I think that Australia is a quirky track. And
it's like a street circuit, but not.
Yeah, it's a street
Like
circuit.
it is, obviously, but
with some, a couple straights,
yeah.
quote unquote. But it's difficult to sort of get a read on every team because it is sort of one of those. It's like if you started the first race of the season at Monaco and Red Bull won, and you think that Red Bull would be dominating the championship, right? It's just not an accurate read of all the tracks. Bahrain is a natural circuit. It's got 4 or 5 straights almost, so it's very, very power sensitive.
And 2 big ones.
Yeah.
Very long ones.
Very long ones, yeah, exactly. So this will be a good indication as to are Ferrari's problems more than just the one race off?
Yeah.
Will Renault actually show some improvement with their new upgrades that they supposedly brought? So from now on in China as well, and the following races, we'll kind of get to see more of a legit pecking order between the teams.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how well the cars actually follow each other in this race, because it looked promising in Australia. Obviously, it's a tough place to overtake in Australia, but I mean, that's obviously the big talking point this year is, can they follow each other? Can they pass in corners and be able to complete the overtakes that everyone keeps wanting? And I think this will be the one true test, is at least the first true test, is Bahrain, and then especially China with all the high-speed corners they have going around there.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see also the effect of DRS at this track, because it's supposedly supposed to be way more powerful. Obviously, there's more gap in the rear wing. So some drivers were already saying in Barcelona about how powerful it was. So now we didn't get to see it in Australia because the start-finish straight is so small.
Yeah.
But now, like you mentioned, the start-finish straight in Bahrain and the back straight coming on and to finish your lap is very long straight. So we're going to get to see sort of, well, actually, you don't have DRS on the back straight, but you do have it on that little straight after.
Yeah. Well, they might add 3 DRS points like they did.
Yeah, they did that pretty late last year too, right? Was it for Bahrain or China that they did that?
I don't remember.
Think Bahrain, they kept it
at 2?
As 2, yeah. But I think for other races like Canada, they added 3.
Well, Australia had 3, did it not?
3, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're going to add a 3rd. I think they'll have 3.
Well, there's definitely room for it. I'm looking at the circuit right now.
Want to do our track circuit breakdown?
Yeah, let's do it. So this race, it's a 5.7 kilometer circuit, 52 laps in the desert. Just looking at all the track facts for all you factoids out there. Pedro,
5.412 kilometers. Is that the track fact you were going for?
I was going for 5. I got 5.7. Which website are you on?
What?
I got 5.412.
I'm on Sky Sports.
Oh, okay. So
I'm
maybe
on
I wrote it
F1.
wrong then. Maybe I rounded up too much.
Maybe.
Okay, we'll go with what you have there. We got the lap record held by Pedro de la Rosa in 2005, a 131.4.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, okay. So
nailed it.
I got that part right.
Last race winner, Sebastian Vettel. Most race wins around Bahrain, Fernando Alonso with 3.
Correct.
Oh wow.
No, actually, that's not right. It's Sebastian Vettel.
How many
He has 4.
Sky Sports is lying to us.
They haven't updated.
Jeez.
We're giving you guys great information here.
Obviously, F1 media can't figure out what is what.
Yeah, because I got this one from.
Would you say 4 point, or how many kilometers did you say it was?
5.7.
Oh, I was gonna say like, oh, maybe like I thought there was a 9 there. I was like, oh, it's 3.9 miles. Maybe you got
F1's
that.
website says 5.412.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that's
so
the
I'll do
right
it.
one then. Yeah.
What does it say had the most wins? Does it say that on the F1's website?
Let me see. Pedro de la Rosa was right.
We're just trying to figure out what tabloids have the right information on Bahrain.
Yeah. Well, because I think I got it from when F1 has all the races and they have all the little track info and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Also, I just want to mention that I wish they had different like key moments in the different sessions, because like every time I tune in, like practice 2 and qualifying, it was the same. Like David Coulthard, like in Australia, it was David Coulthard always crashing. And
I see what
crap.
you mean. Yeah.
Like it'd be cool to have different facts about like different little moments.
Yeah, I think they did
I
that.
like seeing David Coulthard crash a bunch of times, but I mean,
Well, last year, I think they changed it from last year, the ones that they had. But
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea because you have so many incidents in different races. So obviously, that's extra work for the production team. But for the fans, I think it'd be cool to just see all the different types of incidents and overtakes that happen at different parts of the track.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Any luck, Shaker?
No, I can't find anything.
Oh, that's okay.
I guarantee you that Sebastian Vettel has the most wins because Ferrari has, I think, they won like 6 or 7 races at Bahrain. They're the most successful team at this circuit. It's historically been good for Ferrari. They've won the last 2 races. Vettel was on pole last season, so it's a good race as any to bounce back for them. So the tire situation, they're going with the hardest compounds for this situation.
Yeah,
so we got C1, 2, and
3.
C3. Yeah, and the hard and
it's
the
a one
medium. Yeah, well, it's historically been one stop. It was last year. Obviously, if you guys remember the battle between Vettel and Bottas at the end. But Pirelli say that the hard and mediums are actually a bit softer than last year's hard and mediums.
But didn't they say that the C5 and the C4, which are the softest compounds, are harder than last year's softest compounds? Are we just running one same tire?
I have no idea what they're doing. Personally, for me, I found it was easier.
It was
to
easier
just
last
identify.
season.
Yeah, because now it's like C1 is the hardest, but it's actually softer than last year's. And then it's like, the C5 or whatever. For me, it was just easier to say, okay, we're bringing the Hypersoft here. It's the grippiest tire that we have. We're bringing the white sidewall, which is the hardest that we have.
Even if you want to get rid of they have like 8 tire compounds last year, 7. Like if you want to narrow it down to 5, just do a super soft, medium, hard, or so I should say, or maybe add an ultra soft in there too. Yeah, ultra soft, super soft, and then just like kind of like, okay, these are the tires this year.
Yeah, and then the fans know
they
that.
can go like, this year's ultra soft was last year's hyper soft or whatever.
Right, because now Pirelli are just saying, well, okay, it's actually softer than what last year's harder tires were.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, what? So actually the C1 is technically last year's super soft or whatever.
Yeah.
So
why? Like, why does that need to change every single year?
It's Formula One, bro.
Something has to change every year.
Wait, we need to confuse the fans, right?
By the way, it was Sebastian Vettel with 4 wins.
Sky Sports, fix your website.
I'm 1 for 2 today. Safety car chance is a 21% chance of a safety car in Bahrain, so not really known that much for safety cars.
Yeah.
I think first one maybe that pops in my head was the one that we were actually watching before we started.
Gutierrez one?
That one, and also Lance Stroll,
and
Sainz when they collided coming out of the pits.
2 years ago. That would have been.
2 years ago, 2017.
And then obviously the Gutierrez flip, which was crazy.
Yeah, that was amazing, wasn't it?
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. And breaking down, just getting back to tires, I'm just looking at the selected sets by the team. So Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Leclerc, and Verstappen all have gone with the same strategy. So they have 1 set of the C1, 3 sets of the C2, and then 9 sets of the C3.
I'm no strategic analyst for F1. Like I'm not a strat. Like I would not be good. Yeah, I know.
I thought you were pretty good, man.
But I'm always a big believer bringing 2 of each, at least 2 sets of 1 tire, because say they're just unbelievable. You're like, oh, we can mess up here, or we can have an advantage against the other team. Like say, I don't know, that's just my idea. Like if you run them, either you run them in practice and then you can't use them in the race,
right?
Or you have no data about it and you use them in the race and you just hope.
Yeah, the more the midfield teams have opted for 2 or 3 of the C1s, which makes it easier for the one stop. It'll be a similar scenario like last season, I think, where Vettel had to stretch his stint for the one stopper and then was under attack at the end of the race.
Right.
I think now if we reverse the situation and Valtteri 2.0 is behind Vettel, I think he's sending it for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't care about an accident.
Valtteri was also ahead of Hamilton last year too, right? He came in second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so should be interesting to see.
Yeah. It's an interesting circuit because you have FP1, for example, that's during the daytime, and then you got FP2.
And it's so hot during the daytime, too.
Very hot. Yeah, it's a dry desert heat. You got a lot of sand that's blowing onto the track, too, which makes grip very interesting, especially when the track is still green on Friday.
Like, basically, what it is practice 2 is your race setup practice. But it also has to be your qualifying setup practice because they qualify at night too, do they not?
Correct, yeah.
So I don't know why they just don't have all the practices at night. Because what's the point of practicing during the day then?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's...
maybe is it a time thing?
It could be something for broadcasting. Maybe it's something for the local time just to give fans more
even if that,
flexibility.
Screw the F2s, put them out there in the heat.
That's a good point, too. The other races I didn't think about, yeah.
And then, I don't know, what else is it? Porsche Cup or something like that? Or Ferrari Cup? Or
Yeah, it could be one of those Ferrari Challenge type series, yeah.
Like, throw them out there. They can race during the day because that's when their race is. They don't need to practice at night after the F1 cars or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
And the falling temperatures, because I think the race starts sort of around, sunset. Dusk going, sunset going into night. So you're kind of starting the race when temperatures are a bit higher, and then it cools off into the night.
Yeah.
So that also affects strategy as well. It can maybe prolong the life of the tires.
So what I would think here is, again, no strategic analyst I am, but if I was a top team, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, Haas, I would try in Q2 to get through on a harder compound. And my thinking of this is because they found it's a little harder to get temperature in the tires, right? On the harder compounds this year.
Very hard this year, yeah.
It's already hot during the day. So if you can race the harder compound in your first stint when it's hotter outside, get more heat in the tire and have more grip. And then you have your softer set after in stint 2. It's a cooler track, so that will make them last longer. And you'll have the faster tire going at the end of the race.
Yeah. I mean, it is a rear limited track.
I'm sure if I can think of it, one of those guys are thinking about it.
You tweet at them. Maybe they haven't yet.
Hey, Ferrari, have you thought about this? Just heads up.
Yeah, especially Ferrari, right?
Hey.
If anybody's going to bottle a strategy, right? Yeah, it's because at the top, I mean, it's a bit more difficult, I think, to two-stop it. Well, they did last season, but it didn't really work out for Hamilton. And, Valtteri, it could have worked out maybe if he would have been a bit more aggressive at the end. But... yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But you bring up the tires of this season, and drivers are seeming to struggle a lot more with tire warm-up. I think they changed the regulation a little bit on the tire blankets as well.
Yeah, and I think they upped the PSI, which makes it harder. That makes sense. I think they upped the PSI on it too.
I can't remember. I think I saw that rear tire pressures for this race were around like 19.5 PSI. But I can't remember exactly.
That sounds low.
Not a tire expert here.
I'm not a tire expert.
We can pretend.
Yeah, we can pretend. Oh, yeah, that sounds perfect.
Well, that's actually like the one thing that we don't do at this podcast is pretend like we really know a whole lot about the technical stuff.
We're like, hey,
it's just kind of, it's just kind of three guys that just talking shit about the race. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I mean, the track is it's all about braking. It's all about acceleration. And it's not a lot of like long, prolonged, fast corners.
No, it isn't. No,
and especially
hard on the brakes too.
Yeah, and I don't know if Shaker, if you have the track Mac up, but there's the one corner, very slow speed corner. It's off camber and it's a left hander. So easy to lock up the left front. I think you know which one I'm talking about. I don't know exactly what number the turn is, but it's right before the second DRS straight.
Yeah, I mean, I can count the corners for you if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in going to 9.
About the 8th corner,
yeah.
8 going to 9.
That's where Daniel Ricciardo messed up his car last year, right? That's where his car completely turned off.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Whenever I'm racing on the F1 games, I always lock up. So
it's the trickiest part because, like I said, it's off camber and you're already, as you're coming into the corner, you're already turning left, but you got to try and keep the car as straight as possible. brake, do all your downshifting while your car is straight. But it's difficult to do, and especially when the tires are more worn, and it's a lot easier to lock up the fronts. But because you got slower speed corners, there's a lot more effect on the rear tires because of the acceleration coming in and out of the corners. So that's the one thing that drivers seem to struggle with.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we mentioned before, because a lot of sand that's blowing onto the track, it make grip kind of a little bit tricky as the race goes on. So
it is a great racetrack, though.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I love Bahrain. It is a fantastic. Ever since they started going there, it's just been always a great race.
Well, and you were talking about this before we got on the air, but you were saying, or you were talking about having more night races in F1. Obviously, Bahrain, the cars look amazing. Singapore looks amazing. I think that's the only two that we have, right?
Yeah, I think that's the only two.
Yeah. And,
Abu Dhabi.
And Abu Dhabi as well.
Which is like a day and a night, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but at each track, I mean, it just looks spectacular.
Yeah.
And, you were saying, well, maybe we should have more F1 night races.
Why not? I think there's a couple of races. I think it would be a very big market. I know it's tough for TV.
Yeah.
Especially in Europe. But if you have the US Grand Prix at night, it would look amazing around the Circuit of Americas. But if you do that, say you start it at, well, it would be at that time probably a 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock start, Eastern
time, yeah.
That's like a midnight start out in Europe, which...
Hey man, we got 2 a.m.
I know
starts.
we get it. They don't care about us in North America.
No, they don't.
For TV times, it's all about England.
Yeah,
for TV times.
Yeah, for all you Europeans out there that watch
Europeans, yeah,
because
they're 1 and 2 hour difference, not big.
Right. Deal. Yeah, for all the Europeans that watch most of the F1 races and that watch our show too, you guys have it so easy.
We're up at 2 a.m. watching these races and like falling asleep.
And then during most of the European season, it's like 7 a.m.
Yeah, you're waking up early and you're like, it's either do I pull an all-nighter and watch this race at 6:30 a.m. or do I sleep?
And if you're like me, when you like to watch all the pre-race stuff, that begins like an hour and a half earlier than the race starts. So it's difficult being a fan in North America.
It is. Yeah. I think a night race in North America would look great. I don't think Canada
really
would be.
No,
it wouldn't be good in Canada.
It wouldn't work. No,
it would work in Austin. I think the ideal one is if they got a race in Miami. You have to have.
Oh yeah.
You have to have a Miami race at night.
I'm so worried about that race in Miami.
I know it's gonna be bad.
Somebody's not making it out of there during that weekend.
It's gonna be Amber Lounge, but like to an extreme.
Is that gonna be what do you call it? Wow, I'm blanking out here. Just in the city itself?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be right downtown. I think it's the streets.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Where
that'd
the
be
Miami
really cool.
Heat play,
like where all the clubs are.
Yeah,
are they gonna
like
go
you could
the
like as like during a pit stop? Like legit during a pit stop, you could probably go to the bar, grab a drink, and then come back and finish the race. Oh, we don't promote drinking and driving, by the way.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
no, don't do that.
And then I want to get back to the night races. Sorry.
Just a quick note on Miami. The legislation in Miami are actually voting on that this week.
Are they?
Are they?
As to whether it's going to happen in 2020. So
cool.
Keep updated on that. Sorry, continue.
RIP New Jersey.
Yeah.
What happened to that race?
Damn. That was way closer to Miami.
I know, it's close to Miami. But you know what? Cheap. Flights to Miami are cheap, so we're fine.
Yeah.
They're like $400.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's not bad. They're cheaper than Austin. Night races. I did mention, you said it would be a little sketchy, but Brazil at night would look fantastic as well. And you said who wants to go to Brazil at night, but I think it looked great.
Do Brazilians even want to go to Brazil at night?
I couldn't tell you.
You need to add like most of these tracks that we're talking about. You need to add like 1,000 floodlights, just like they did in Singapore.
Yeah.
There was one personally for me. It would be cool if they did Monaco at night.
It would be, but I don't think you can.
It wouldn't have. Yeah, it wouldn't have as much.
It would have the Monaco feel.
It's cool in the video game.
It is cool in the video game,
but yeah. There's definitely, if you maybe did some more races in either the Middle East or in Asia, where like you were talking about the time zones would help a little bit more for Europe and North America, you could probably add a couple, 1 or 2 more, maybe Vietnam, although we have no idea Vietnam. How that's going to turn out.
Yeah. Right now it's a dirt road that leads to a pond.
Yeah, I think there's like, what, a 6-kilometer straight or something included in this
I don't
track.
know. If you guys haven't seen on F1's channel, is it on F1's channel? It is.
I think so.
I forget her name, the presenter, but she goes around like the Vietnam circuit as it is right now before construction, and it's legit like in a there's like a suburb home, And then there's like a dirt road that leads to a dead end that's beside a river. And you're like, what is going on here?
Well, that was the one thing with Miami, too. I think it goes over a bridge and then there's just water like right beside or under them. And people are like, you're going to need a pretty big catch fence here.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to figure out with these new tracks. But personally, I'm still a fan of, I mean, I do like street circuits, but if we had the return first of something like a Dutch Grand Prix,
I think that Dutch deserve a Grand Prix. I know Belgium's close.
Yeah, and then we have maybe
Germany as well, right?
Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Back to the Nürburgring, but the full Nürburgring.
This whatever kilometer it is.
10 kilometers or
9
something,
isn't it?
You would not. That'd be so hard to race.
9.89. I'm totally guessing here.
Yeah. From a broadcasting perspective,
it'd be awful.
It'd be almost impossible. Well, probably not impossible, but very difficult.
Yeah, I don't think you could do it there. I don't know. What other places can they put a Grand Prix? A lot of places.
Yeah.
South Africa.
This is a big debate, and I think maybe when we get closer to China and the 1,000th race special, it's something that we can talk about. Sort of, more races on the schedule or less races. Where do we want to see races go to? Tracks returning or
the thing
new
is,
tracks?
there's no bad track on the circuit right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean,
what's the most boring track? Can you think of one?
That's a tough question. I'd have to think about it. And, off the top of my head, I can't necessarily think of one.
Is it Australia?
Maybe. But even Australia, the track, I mean, turn 11 is exciting.
Yeah, no, it's a great track. I just, for overtaking, I'm sure, in terms of, the excitement of the race.
I mean, Hungary, it's difficult to overtake there, but.
Yeah, but that's a great circuit too.
Yeah, it's a great circuit. Yeah, you're right. I don't think there is one.
There isn't a bad track. Maybe Vietnam. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you had those two races, I mean, are they moving up one race then next year? Is it going to be 22 races?
Yeah, I was about to ask that too. So are they going to take away a race or are they going to add one?
Give me
it's a good question.
Give me 30 seconds. I'll find out the race list for next year. I have to go Wikipedia.
I don't think it's confirmed yet. I think they confirm it a little bit later. And it all depends, I think, on this vote in Miami, Florida this week about what's going to happen. But yeah, I think David Croft talked about that a little bit when you were having the discussion with him at the Racing Point launch about, for us fans, obviously we'd love to have 30 races a year, but in terms of the logistics for the teams, the drivers, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, obviously it is physically demanding, but
that's right. I've figured it out here.
What's going on?
Right now there are 17 Grand Prix that are under contract to be held in 2020, and that does include Hanoi Street Circuit in Vietnam.
So that'll be the debut?
So that'll be the debut. It doesn't include, which are there's 5 races that don't have a contract yet for 2020, but run this year, and that is the British Grand Prix in Silverstone, which honestly
definitely is that going to come back? I think that's going to come back.
I think
really?
It may go, yeah.
Which is a disappointment for everyone.
Yeah.
The German Grand Prix, which is always kind of wishy-wash.
Yeah.
Italian Grand Prix, which will 100% come back. They'll go back to Monza.
Better.
There's no way. Mexican Grand Prix,
which I think we talked about in the last podcast or the two, or maybe last month, the one that we did.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But that'd be nice to see them back there. And the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. I personally would like to see them move from Barcelona. Maybe get that street circuit back in Valencia.
Yeah, I didn't mind that track.
And then there's 2 more planned expansion races that they're trying to get, and that's the Miami one, of course, or Copenhagen as well, and then the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That's a popular one, I think, amongst the fans.
Yeah. So there's
Dutch to return.
3 potential new races. So we'll see where they go.
If they manage to combine Germany, Australia, Belgium, and the Dutch Grand Prix all into one, that would be a nice month and a half long. If they take a week,
so you don't have to really go anywhere.
Yeah, they keep it all together.
Yeah, that'd be a smart idea.
Yeah.
For people traveling there too, want to do their vacation.
Yeah,
and tremendous fans that come
Oh,
out
yeah,
to those
100%.
races.
Yeah,
So,
awesome fans.
yeah, anytime you get the Dutch fans to come out, especially with Verstappen on the
Yeah.
rise, it's gonna be really good.
Should we do wrap this up and do our predictions for Bahrain?
Yeah, let's do it. Just two notes actually before
yeah.
that. Mick Schumacher is making his F1 debut in the test following the race. So the Tuesday and the Wednesday after the race, he'll be testing with Ferrari on Tuesday and Alfa Romeo on Wednesday. So
Yeah, hopefully he sticks in the car and does a good job there.
yeah, super excited to see another Schumacher back in Ferrari. And the new sketches actually for the 2021 car has been released.
Oh, yeah.
And I got it on my phone, so I'll show you because.
I took a look at it.
Did you? I
haven't
didn't
seen
look
it.
at it.
So
Do you want your cars to have wings on the side too? Because that's exactly.
That's not bad looking.
it looks like an Indy car.
Oh man, I
It
don't
does
know.
look like an IndyCar.
I don't like it already, but
If you look at it from the back, I think it looks the worst.
and it's a very high front wing.
It is a high front wing.
Like from the front, But if mine from the back with the bigger tires in the back, it doesn't look as.
It's not the worst looking in the world.
No,
It's not as nice as
just
what it looks
not
like right now, though.
great.
That's what I mean. I mean, it's still early, right? This is sort of just a digital sketch.
Yeah.
Is-
They'll look better in person.
Is there any have they released any reasoning or any behind it? Obviously, we're not engineers.
There's
and
arrows, the new arrow
like,
regs or what?
yeah,
engine
like
regs and whatever. They're
I don't
doing.
know.
I thought we were.
I mean, one day.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk right now going on, and they're having meetings with the teams, and they're trying to figure out the whole budget caps and regulations and engines and all that stuff. So we'll talk about that a little bit more maybe in our 1000th race podcast. But a big time, I think, for the sport because 2021 is sort of the tipping point in terms of where the future of the sport will go.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of development. So we'll try and keep you guys updated on that. But for this preview, let's do our predictions.
Yeah.
Let's start with you. What do you think?
Okay.
What's going to happen?
I think it'll be a very interesting race, and I think strategy will be a key part in the race as well. And I think you're going to see Max contend for a podium spot, not the win. Personally, that's what I think. And I think
I'd back you with that.
I
I'd
think
back you with that.
yeah, I think Charles Leclerc will get his first F1 podium,
Ooh.
Okay.
finish second, and I think Lewis Hamilton will win. You know what? Scratch that. I think Valtteri Bottas will win the race. So it's going to be Lewis first, and then Lewis first. I said Valtteri.
Okay.
Sorry, Valtteri first, and either Max or Charles second and third, with Lewis and Sebastian fourth and fifth.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to jump back onto the Ferrari bandwagon where I was positioned during Barcelona testing. I'm just going to say that I think Ferrari, it seems like it was a one-off, that they've fixed their issues in the 2 weeks since Australia. I think Vettel will win in Bahrain. It's a track that he likes. Mm-hmm. He's the most successful driver or has the most wins at Bahrain. So I think he'll get P1 and start Ferrari's championship back on track. So I think that will go with Vettel for P1. P2, I think I'll do Valtteri.
Okay.
I think he'll continue his strong form. He got his, I think he got his first pole in Bahrain in 2017.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a track that he likes. He did well there last season, so I think he'll be able to carry on the momentum. And I'll go Max Verstappen, P3.
P3. So we have
Rounding
three
out.
different. We both so far have three different teams on the podium.
Yeah, I think
Lovely.
Verstappen is going to still be consistent, and he's going to be not winning races just yet, but on the podium. And so that's my top three.
Obviously, who knows the crashes and stuff. But
So mine's actually the exact same as Chris's.
oh, is it?
There we
As you
go.
were saying it,
there
I
we
was
go.
just like, yep, that one's mine. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna go for Vettel. I think he's thirsty for a comeback after what happened a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago, and then I think Valtteri's still going to continue the form that he was in. And I mean, you heard him say it to his haters, and I'm kind of on the fence. As much as I want Verstappen to be in the pole, I feel like Hamilton's going to get it. But just because I am a Verstappen fan, I'm going to say he's gonna come in third.
He's gonna come through.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I have the only real bold prediction with Charles getting his first F1 podium and beating Sebastian Vettel.
Well, are we doing bold predictions as well, or are we just doing top three right
No, I was just doing predictions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was I just felt like it was the right time to say it. I don't know.
No,
I'll say it
okay.
until he gets it, and then I'll be right eventually.
If Ferrari find their pace, I think it's very likely.
Very likely.
And you could
Yeah.
have we could have two Ferraris on.
I think Kimi
podium
was
as well.
P2 last year until he broke his pitman's leg.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He's back actually
Is he?
in the grid, so he
Good.
he
That was
healed
good.
up well.
Gross.
That's good.
Yeah, very gross. So
I forgot about that. Oh yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
I'm still saying Charles Leclerc for Monaco.
Yeah.
I hope so, especially after seeing that Netflix episode about him.
I haven't seen. I haven't got to that episode yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you watch the rest of them, we'll maybe do a series review on the whole.
I've just been busy, but I'm on episode 3, I think, or 4.
Cool.
It's a really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for the Bahrain Grand Prix preview, race number 2 of the season. A lot of chances for overtaking here, especially on the main straight
Should
and
be
the
a fun
back
race.
straight. So pay attention to those as areas for overtaking, and we'll see. We'll see if Ferrari can rebound or if they've got some serious problems on their hands. But looking good. Just before we go,
our
F1 Fantasy.
Yeah.
We've got that all set up. It was kind of slow getting started for Australia, so it's up on our Instagram.
Yeah.
And you guys can see the league code here, so
I
just
was
join
gonna
our
say,
league.
we're just gonna put the league code in.
It's just going to pop right up on the
Okay, there
screen.
it is.
Down
Perfect.
here.
Magic.
Perfect.
So you guys can join there. We'll just extend our deadline to China or
Yeah,
Baku.
we'll extend it to China. I think after China, though, we should cut it off.
Yeah, that sounds
I
good.
agree.
Just as usual, share and subscribe. We had somebody share our podcast on Reddit. So if
Thank
you're
you
on
very much.
Reddit and drop us a like or drop us a little mention, we'd really appreciate it. And we'll be able to get more subscribers and more people listening from that.
Yeah. And I think that's a wrap.
I think that's a wrap. We'll see you later.
We'll see you.
We'll see you for the preview.
Enjoy
or
the recap.
the recap. That's
Yeah.
right. We'll see you for the recap of the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Enjoy the race.